The name alone sends chills down your spine. For over 130 years, this mysterious killer has haunted our imaginations, inspiring countless books, movies, and conspiracy theories. But how much of what we think we know about Jack the Ripper is actually true? Today, we are separating fact from fiction and uncovering the shocking truths behind history's most infamous serial killer. In 1888, the streets of Whitechapel, London were terrorized by a killer who brutally murdered at least 5 women. The press dubbed him Jack the Ripper, and the name stuck. But who was he? A madman? A genius? A member of the royal family? Let's break it down. Fiction number 1. Jack the Ripper was a surgical expert. Many believe he had medical training because of the precision of his cuts. But here's the truth. While the Ripper's crimes were gruesome, there's no evidence he was a skilled surgeon. In fact, some experts argue the mutilations were crude and chaotic, suggesting he was more of a butcher than a doctor. Fiction number 2. Jack the Ripper only targeted prostitutes. While it's true that most of his victims were poor women living on the margins of society, there's no definitive proof that they were all sex workers. This myth has been perpetuated to dehumanize the victims and simplify the narrative. In reality, these women were mothers, daughters, and sisters, each with their own story. Fiction number 3. The Dear Boss letters were written by Jack the Ripper. These chilling letters sent to the police and newspapers claimed responsibility for the murders. But here's the twist. Most experts believe the letters were hoaxes, written by journalists to sell more papers. The Ripper may have never written a single word. Fiction number 4. Jack the Ripper was a master of disguise who vanished without a trace. While it's true he was never caught, the idea that he was a shadowy genius is largely exaggerated. The truth, Victorian policing was rudimentary, and Whitechapel's maze-like streets made it easy for anyone to disappear. The Ripper wasn't necessarily a criminal mastermind. He was just lucky. Fiction number 5. We know who Jack the Ripper was. Over the years, countless suspects have been named, from a Polish barber to a member of the royal family. But the truth is, we may never know for sure. Despite advances in forensic science, the Ripper's identity remains one of history's greatest mystery. So, what's the bottom line? Jack the Ripper wasn't a surgical genius, a royal conspirator, or even a prolific letter writer. He was a brutal killer who preyed on vulnerable women in a time of extreme poverty and social inequality. And while the myths surrounding him are fascinating, they often overshadow the real victims and the harsh realities of life in Victorian London. Let's not forget the real people at the heart of the matter. These women deserve to be remembered as human beings who suffered greatly. Let's remember them.